Okay, I believe we can start now. So, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today on our webinar regarding the date field, the new field we have. And let me just show the new field we've added. It's called date field, and it allows users to input dates in the classic calendar format. Allows you to choose months, years, and the date. So it's basically an input field. And let's just quickly go through the settings of the field. The basic settings are the same as for all other fields. It's name, display name, hide field, etc. And then there is date field config, which is special for this field. Basic setting is required, so the date field can also be required for the final user. Then you can set date format. Different date formats can be set to present the date here. So, for example, you can choose the classic European one. It's the short one. This is the longest date. Or you can switch the months and days and use the American format. As you can see, it's changing here. So it's really nice function to set the date format you want to see in the date field once the user selects the date from dropdown from the calendar. And also there is a link for the date format help. It will actually bring you to this page where you can see all the variables for date functions and for the settings, the date format settings. Also, you can set a range from minimum date to maximum date. It is very useful if you are, for example, selling something in a short time range. So if you'll need to add the maximum date or minimum date, it's also possible to separately add date. You don't need to really set the minimum and maximum. You can choose one of these. And then we have also basic condition to display field settings, the logical settings to show field only based on special condition. And then we have design settings. It's also basic for as for all other fields. And what is I believe the most important is this in this webinar for us is how to work with the date field using functions in the formula field, because it's the input is good, but then it usually requires further calculations to present results or to add it in your price or quote. So let's get straight to the formula. I'll just went to the edit the field, and here you can see the formula running now. It's a dateAdd function which adds the number of days to the selected date. And let's delete this and let me show you from the very beginning how it works. Okay, so the date field we've chosen, it's the 1st of August. And let's say I want to add to this date the number of days chosen by user in this slider. And let me show you how we can do this. First of all, we need to use dateAdd function. Here you can see the description of the function. It's dateAdd, date, type, and value. Date is the date you want to use as like a starting date, or as the is the basic number. I don't know how to say it. So it's for us, it's the date chosen here in the date field. So let's just delete date and press here date field. Type is type of what you're gonna to add to these dates. So it can be days, months, or years. And let's say I want to add days. You need to add simple commas and simply press D. And then we need to define the value. So how many days I want to add to this date. And for this, I want to use our slider field. So let's just simply click on days. Now you can see the new date calculated. However, you can see that it is presented in really strange format. This format is called an absolute date and is counted in milliseconds from 1970. To be honest, I don't know why it is counted from 1970, but it is. So this is the milliseconds. If you want to transfer it to days or to months, you can simply use math calculations to transfer this from milliseconds to days. But this date, it's not convenient for the user, and it's not even readable. Nobody will understand what it is about, what this number means. So we need to use dateFormat function. Let me add this to our formula. dateFormat function, which will format your date in the format chosen. You need to specify in the function the date and the format for the date you want to use. I'll just simply delete it here, and for us, the date is the whole dateAdd function. So the value of the date itself for us is this function. So at the beginning, I will type dateFormat, start the brackets. This is our date, and then I need to specify the format. And let's choose the American one and close the brackets. Here you can see the date, the new date calculated. Basically, it's the 1st of August plus 10 days, and it is formatted to the classical American format. There are a lot of types of format you can use, and it is described here in this topic. We've added this topic to our documentation, so you can find it there. And what I wanted to show you is these possible formats, because I think they are very nice and you can use it in your calculator. So for example, let's try the long date. We need to specify it here. So let's change our to long date. This is the long date format. And let's try also the full date format. And this is the full date format, which will also show you the day of the week and the date itself. As you can see, there are plenty of those formats, and you can really play around with this and choose the format you want to use, or you can specify it by your own and use, I don't know, if you are using some strange formats like years, days, and months, it's also possible to present it in such a custom format. So it's really nice function, and it is very, very useful to work with the date. Let's change it to the classic one. And also, what I was going to show you today is dateDeduct function, which is actually the opposite of dateAdd. So dateAdd adds, sorry for this, adds a number of days to the date selected, and dateDeduct is the opposite. So it takes from the starting date the number of days or months. Let's change this to dateDeduct. And you can see we are going the way around. So now it's calculated in, it's going in Meta. So you can see it here. You can also specify the date by simply typing it in, or the number of days can be also added manually. So for example, 10. But I wanted to show you that it is possible to use this with other fields such as sliders, as it brings more interaction in the calculator, and it is more convenient, and also it allows you to link different inputs together in the formula and present the new date. And the next hour of webinar will be about also the date field, and also about the formula. Yes. This webinar will be as a recording on our YouTube channel, and also it will be presented on our website. However, now you have the ability to ask me questions. I've actually finished what I wanted to share with you today, and I'll also I just wanted to add that the next webinar will be about get time function and today date. And the get time function is the most important one if you are planning to do any kind of calculations. Because first of all, to calculate with the dates, you first needed to transfer to the absolute date format, and this is what the get time function does. So this is what will be about our next webinar. And right now you can ask me any questions if you have one. Do you have any questions? Okay, Adi. So what is your question? Okay. So could you just send me Google wrote me clickable elements to close together? Okay, Eddie, if you could, I can send you the link after. I can. Oh, that would be great because I believe you have my email and you can contact me on it. And please send us all the information regarding your calculators. I've already shown what we had to our development team, and we're just trying to figure it out and come up with a solution to you. So please send me all problems you have to my email, and we will sort this out. Rachel, do you have? Oh, thank you, Eddie. Thank you. Rachel, do you have any questions? Basically, as you're only two here, you can ask me any questions you want. So if you need like any kind of help with your calculator or any question you want to ask, you can simply do this. Clean up account. Yes, I believe this is possible to create from your description. It is possible. For these, you will need to use the getTime function, which we will present in the next webinar in a week. And if you need any help right now, please write us to support or info, or I can actually or you can actually just leave me an email and I will follow up you after this webinar, and I will help you to solve this problem, and we can also create this calculator for you if you wish. We offer such service. So if you could just leave me an email which is best for you to contact you, that would be great. I will follow up you after this webinar. And by the way, Rachel, do you have an Excel file for the calculations you are using? Because if you have one, it is really easy to help you, and you can send this also to support, or as I've said, you can just leave me an email and I will follow up you with this. Okay, great. Thank you for your email. I just make a note. I will send you an email from after this webinar, and we will get in touch and start from this. Do you have any questions at the moment? Thank you, Rachel. Okay, so I believe this is it. Just to check, I will, for the last time, ask if you have any questions or if you need any help at this moment. If no, I will just finish this webinar. Okay, great. And Adi, please send me all the problems you're facing now. And Rachel, I will follow up you straight away after this webinar. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope that this webinar helped you to find a solution to your problems with Calculoid, and probably see you next time. Thank you again for attendance, and have a nice day. Bye.